I know I got some listeners and followers out there. I know you're out there. So don't act like you don't know who I am on this Monday night. So come on in and join us as we begin to delve into the topic living single. Um, I am the core leader over our singles ministry at our church. And one of the things that the singles ministry leader did, we did a boot camp. And the boot camp was very good. We talked about fitness, finances, emotional, and we talked about spiritual. And so we brought all these components together to address being single. But what a lot of people don't understand, some people are single by choice. Some people are single because a spouse may have passed away. They're single because they've been divorced. And so singleness looks different from a lens from everybody else. Doesn't look the same. And so when I thought about this, putting this together, it came as a conversation I was having with some of my girlfriends. We were talking about, single life and what does it look like, because after you get of a certain age, some people start getting discouraged, like, well, am I not cute enough? Does everybody not find me? Like, where's everybody at? I can't find a man, and, they're looking around and I'm saying to them, but it's not up to us to find a man. I said, y'all just relax. If it's meant for this to happen, God will send the person to you. I said, but while you're yet single, live your best life now. I said, live your best, because I got a lot of married friends that say, Erica, stay single as long as you can and live your best life. Because once you get married, I tell people, and that's my struggle. My struggle is getting married. I got to wake up to the same person every day. The rest of my life. And my friends tell me, Erica, you are actually crazy. I said, no, y'all, think about it. You get married, you say I do. That means he and I have to be together to death do us part, or either it don't work out. So, I struggle with that because I can really be a recluse. I can really be an introvert.
Yeah.
I really like being by myself. I really do. I enjoy my own company.
You like you.
Yes, I enjoy my own company. And
Yeah.
so sometimes for people, they say, Erica, you're just weird, you're strange. No, I'm confident in me.
That's
and
it.
so that's kind of a little bit. So I want to kind of get you to introduce yourself and talk about your mirror moments, which I subscribe to. And,
Cool.
and that way we'll kind of get into some more of the conversation.
Great.
Take yours.
Thank you, Erica. I appreciate the opportunity, the platform to share with you. I am Stephen Thurston, native of Chicago, Illinois, currently serving as the executive pastor of the Salem Baptist Church of Chicago, where we call it the greatest church in the whole wide world.
All right.
I've been in this space of relationship. It wasn't something that I really wanted to do. I had a buddy about 10, 12 years ago. He had a internet radio show, and he invited me on one day. He said, Steve, can you come on talk about relationship? I said, yeah, man, I put some notes together, and it went over super well, so good that they set a segment for me every month to come on. And then it just kind of rolled from there. So while living in Atlanta, I had a friend reach out. She was like, hey, your posts are great. They're amazing. I enjoy them. They got this thing called Facebook Live that's about to start. You should do it. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. And so she kept pushing me. And so it got to be like October of that year. And I said, okay, here's what I'll do, Jasmine. I'll start doing Facebook Live in October, and I'll run it to the end of the year. And then after that, I'm out. I quit. I ain't doing that thing. I got other stuff to do. So got on there, start talking about relationship stuff again, put up some of my old notes, and you know how we do. We put a new spin on them and jumped into it, and people started watching and following. And so I think my third episode, I did a piece on why men cheat. And I had 17,000 views.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw. Yeah, that's what I saw.
I was like, whoa, I may be kind of on something here. And so I was like, well, what am I going to call this thing? And I got some feedback from a friend. She was like, mirror moments. And so that's how that started. Create mirror moments, tagline, changing what's within so that you can change what's around. My background is in sociology and psychology. And so focusing people in on stop pointing the finger out, but point the finger back in first. Because once you change you and become a better version of you, you then impact and influence everything and every environment around you. So if you don't like where you are, change something about you, because that might rub off on everything else around you. And so we kind of continued to go. Next thing I know, people are inboxing me, DMing me. When's your book coming out? When you going to write something? wasn't even on my purview, wasn't in my radar, and they just kept coming with it. So I finally decided to sit down last year and write my first book, Mirror Moments. And that book is available on my website. So again, it's about introspection, walking us through relationships. And this applies not just to romantic relationships, work relationships, platonic relationships, familial relationships, any type of relationship, the principles can transcend. And so that's what that book focuses on. That's what Mirror Moments focuses on. My 2 lanes are leadership and relationship. So I'm serving as executive pastor now, but I was previously a senior pastor. I retired several years ago, back at end of 2011. And then my mentor reached out to me, and I started doing some executive pastor work in Atlanta. And then another mentor in Chicago reached out, and I moved back here 3 years ago to do that. So I've been there in that space of leadership and relationship for a while.
Wow, great. I serve as the executive pastor at my church. That's where it was an old post on Why Men Cheat. And I don't think you remember, I inboxed you. I said, is that one about, I think, is it the women, men, and men? I saw it, and it popped up in the mirror as I looked at it. I said, wow, interesting. And so I started inboxing it to some of my single friends.
Okay.
And the comments I was getting back from them, they're like, Erica, see if you can get him on the Facebook Live. I said, y'all know he's too high up for me. I said, I have to go through channels, and they start laughing. I said, no, y'all serious? Y'all know these people, they got all these firewalls they got to go through. I told Curvance when I had Curvance back in the spring, I said, Curvance, I thought I was gonna go through 5-10 people just to get you. He's like, no, Erica, it's just me. And so I really think this is we focus on children, we focus on the family, we focus on marriages, but we really don't focus on single, those that desire to be single, or those that are seeking to move to married life. We leave some of those components out. And one of the reasons why we leave them out is because if you've been married for 30 years, it is hard for you to minister to somebody single in 2020.
That's right.
30 years looks a whole lot different.
Yes, ma'am.
2020. Yeah, relationships don't even look the same. The world has changed since, you remember the soap opera, As the World Turned?
Yes.
Everything has turned around since that. So 30 years ago, it might have worked then, but that's not going to work now.
Yes, ma'am. That's real.
We've got modern women. We got women who work. We got women who have their own things.
Yeah.
And when a lot of us who have gotten over 40 or 45, we get settled.
Yes.
We don't like change much.
We ain't trying to change too much.
Yes, we got a routine. If it works, don't break it.
That's right.
So that's where we find ourselves a lot of times saying, what do I need to do differently? And so I think that's kind of the struggle. I think that a lot of people struggle with. And so having said that, as it relates to relationships, what is something that you think is the number one failure, number one mistake people make in trying to enter into a relationship to make it work?
Sure. There's a psychological term called transference. And the quick definition of that is when the past is present.
Wow.
And so what often happens in relationships is that we don't know the difference between checked luggage and carry-on luggage. Back when we were flying, of course, I flew a whole lot. And so there's a major difference between your carry-on luggage and your checked luggage. And that heavy stuff I would have to check, because if everybody were allowed to bring all of their baggage into the fuselage, it will throw the weight balance of the plane off, and the plane would ultimately crash.
Wow.
And so that's why we check some stuff in this place under the bottom, which is made and designed to contain and carry all of that weight. And then the light stuff we take up top. Likewise with relationships, some relationships start off going up good, and then they crash real fast because too much weight has been brought into the fuselage of that relationship. So not being able to differentiate about what I need to learn from and leave, what I need to learn from and carry with me into the next relationship.
Wow, that's good. And and the one thing you said, I think that is key. You said that your assignment is relationships and leadership.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we take the leadership into the relationship and there's no balance.
Correct.
And what we do is we try to lead from a spiritual standpoint. Well, I don't need you spiritually. I need for you to be in a relationship. It's me and you be in this relationship. Let's work this thing out.
Yes,
And
yes.
so sometimes I have a passion for leaders. I have a passion for developing leaders. That's my passion. And I often tell people my background is political science.
Okay.
So I like to debate. And so I'm a very debatable person.
Yes.
And if you come to me with a question, I'm going to answer you. I'm coming back to you with another question. And by the time most people get through talking to me, they're exhausted. I said, because for every question, there's another question.
That's right.
You got to think about the question before you ask it to know what the expectation of the answer will be.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you're trying to lead in a relationship, one of the things they tell me, I get this a lot, Eric, you don't communicate well. Well, I think I communicate well. But when I hear that a lot, I'm thinking, well, what is it that they say to me that I don't communicate well? I think it's the part because I will be the first to admit I'm a type A personality.
Okay.
If you don't catch me in the first couple of seconds of what
over.
you're talking about, it's over for me.
Yeah.
I have tuned out, I've zoned out. So you got to catch me quick. I said, not that I can repeat to you everything you said to me, but if you don't grasp my attention. So it brings me to the point of the personalities in relationships. We both bring different personalities.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you blend them without trying to change them?
There has to be that respect and empathy for the other person. Well, we recognize that there are two different worlds, two different families of origin, two different environments that reared us and raised us, two different sets of expectations, rules, regulations, to-dos, to-don'ts. And if we would spend time giving the other person grace, the same amount of grace that we want to receive. I think that's the foundational piece that creates the atmosphere where these two worlds can kind of collide and then start to find a way where they can fit together and plug into each other.
So why do you think we try to change people whenever we meet them? What's our first instinct? That, we want to change people. It's like we want to create them. Everybody's not going to be a Ken and Barbie or a Barack and Michelle.
That's right.
So we can't compare ourselves to that. So the first thing we want to change them. To fit into a mold. And could it be that person that you with don't need to be changed? Because I need somebody that's the total opposite of me.
Gotcha.
Because I couldn't take two of me. You know something? I couldn't take somebody just like me. I need somebody that's totally opposite of me to bring balance to me. So why do you think we go into it with wanting to change something about that person?
One of my mentors said something very profound some time ago, and it stuck with me ever since he said it. He said, Steve, you don't see me in competition with people. He's a preacher, pastor. You don't see me in competition with other pastors because I recognize something about myself. When you're complete, you don't have to compete.
That's good.
You can be you, and you can let everybody else be them, and you can find the places and spaces where you all can merge together. And because I don't think people are in tune with their real, authentic selves, we really don't know ourselves. We know our representative, but we don't know ourselves.
That's true.
And
That's
so
true.
it requires us having that mirror moment, taking a look on the inside, flushing out the negative stuff that doesn't need to be there. And if we would spend half of our time focusing on our stuff, on ourselves and our stuff, and the other half of our time not focusing on everybody else's stuff, we could be a better individual, and we won't have so much time trying to fix somebody. That time will be spent on the inside doing the internal work within ourselves to again make ourselves more appealing, a better version of ourselves for a happy, healthy, whole, sustainable relationship with that other individual.
So it takes you spending time with yourself to know yourself, so that whenever you're put in a position to begin a relationship, you're not a pretender.
Right.
You can take the mask off.
And most people won't do that because they recognize, at least in their subconscious, that they don't like themselves. And so I'm going to avoid me by trying to fix you, because that takes my energy and my effort, and it doesn't allow you to come back at me and tell me about me because we're too busy arguing about you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's good.
I get to avoid my stuff because I'm focused on your stuff.
That's good. That's good. So, and in relationship shaping or forming relationships, we talked about this earlier. We'll go in more depth. If you're not married, male or female, the first thing people say out of their mouth is they have to be gay, or
Yes.
they're, that's the first comment that comes out of people's mouth. And I can't get that, because just because I'm single, what justifies me to be gay? So speak a little bit to that, and we'll elaborate more on that on Wednesday. But can you speak
Cool.
a little bit to that question?
Sure. Let me come from the angle of church and the
Okay.
church
Yeah,
lens, because
please.
of course we hear that a whole lot in church. And I think
Yes.
it has a lot to do with how the church has demonized singleness and glorified marriage. And so it's like you're in detention if you're single. It's graduation once you get married.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now, even from a pastoral place, we still have churches today that
Yeah.
won't call a pastor if that pastor, female or male, is single. And
That's
so
right.
they force that person to get married to somebody that they don't like, that they're
Yeah.
going to cheat on. Then they want to crucify the pastor when they find
Yeah.
out the indiscretions.
That's
But hell,
right.
y'all forced me to get with somebody.
Exactly. That's right. That's right.
And so it's bad theology. It's
Yes.
warped cultural perspectives, this
Mhm.
westernized lens that we apply to the text and misinterpret text, puts people in this vulnerable place of being with somebody and doing stuff that they really don't have the heart and the passion to.
Mhm.
Marriage, relationships are commitment. They take work. And the
Yeah.
reality is that everybody ain't cut out for it.
That's right.
So
That's
some
right.
people are meant to be single. Some people don't have the intestinal fortitude to go through what it takes to have a sustainable, successful relationship. And we
Yeah.
got to all be honest about ourselves and where we are, what our limitations are.
Yep. So this matchmaking, as I call it, we like to match make in church.
Yeah.
You got these single dating websites, and so we want to match people up based on what they look like, based on their background, based on who their family is, or based on that. And I realized something is that, especially for me, it's not about your status,
Mhm.
but it's about where's your mindset. Where do you
Yes.
see yourself going?
Yeah.
What are your goals? What are your aspirations? I don't want your goal to be just to marry me and you be my husband. No, it's got to be more than that, because if
Yeah.
that's the case, I can stay single. I don't have just to get married just to have a husband. What are your dreams? Because at the end of the day, I still have a life over here.
That's right.
Life over here. And we're just bringing those lives together. But at some point, I'm still gonna have my life over here and you. So you got to bring some balance to that. So we need to stop trying to make people in church, because I think he or she looks good together. Oh, I think
Right.
y'all good, great couple. And I get all the time. I don't understand that. Oh, y'all look so good together. I think this will make a great couple. And you're looking at that person's looking at you, and you're giving this fake smile, this fake facade. You're showing up, and somebody told me, Eric, whenever you go out, did you try to eat cute? No, I'm gonna eat where I eat. I said, but I'm not gonna order the most expensive thing off the menu. I said, but what I'm going to eat, I'm going to give you my true self.
Yes.
And from off the gate.
From the jump.
Yeah, because I don't want you to assume or misunderstand where I'm coming from. And then the other thing, you hear this a lot whenever you go out. The first thing I hear a lot of men say this: well, I'm not looking to get married. Well, we didn't talk about that. We just going out to eat. So where that comment come from? It's like it just jumped out the sky. Like you just say, well, and you're thinking, well, where did this come from?
Because they
Why
putting
do you
pressure on us, Erica.
Go ahead.
These ladies out here putting pressure on us. Like you said, mama, grandmama, it's holiday time. Where's your man? You must be gay. Again, that's what comes out grandmama's mouth when you keep walking in the house on Thanksgiving and Christmas with nobody. You look funny, something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And then my clock is ticking. It's about that time I gotta have a baby. And so the ladies are putting the heat and the pressure on. Listen, when we look at the statistics, when you look from an African-American context, y'all don't have a whole lot of options.
We don't.
When you eliminate all the guys who are gay, when you eliminate the guys that are incarcerated, when you eliminate the guys who just ain't gonna never be nothing in life, no goals, no desires, no hopes. Small options. And so whenever y'all see somebody with some potential, they got a job, they got some dreams and goals. Play video games, PS5s all day. They ain't got no kids. Oh my God. They're like, let me put the handcuffs on him on the first date. And so that's where that response is coming from.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. And it's true, you have to really be. A friend of mine, she got married at 50. And she said to me, she said, Erica, in my 20s and 30s, I was so depressed because all my friends had got married. Then when I got in my 40s, she said, I finally settled in my mind, I'm not going to ever get married. So she wasn't looking to get married. She had just been comfortable with herself. And then all of a sudden, she met this gentleman who had been married. His wife had been deceased. And she let him know up front, I just want to be friends. We can go out to eat. But I'm not looking for a relationship. And we laugh to this day because it's like a year and a half later. I said, so y'all still having dinner? Y'all still, y'all still friends? She said, girl, we got married and we're still in love. So I think for some people we evolve.
Yes.
We evolve over time. And then there's some things too you want to accomplish on your own.
Correct.
You want there's some things and aspirations that you want to do single. Say I did this without the assistance of a man, or I did it without the assistance of a woman. But
Sure.
I think what brings the balance is that number one, we've got to stop preaching from the pulpit. If you're not married, then you're gay. The church got to stop doing that.
Correct.
And you got to stop putting people in categories and boxing people in. Because what you're doing is you're forcing people to marry people they don't want to be with.
That's right.
And then now you got a church full of divorced people.
Yes.
Hurt people that you got to minister to. But remember, you married these same people.
That's
and you
right.
told them to get married. Now they hurt. So now you got to minister to their hurtness or their broken heart. So what would you say to a pastor or a leader that is leading or they have singles in their ministry? Because I believe, this is just my personal opinion,
yes,
that as a single person, I can preach a more holistic message than someone married. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Because I can see it from all angles. I can see how marriage works, but I can also see the flaws in the marriage. Yes. I can see how single works. I can see how singles, the flaws in that. So what do you do with all the flaws and things that you see? How do I make a balanced person? Because at the end of the day, before you got married, you were still single.
That's right.
You were still a single person. So you can't forget that you're still, that you, at one time you weren't single. And even you hear married couples that they still like that time alone by themselves.
Yes.
Because there's still a part of you that likes to be single and have some space because you need to breathe,
That's it.
You don't need nobody up on you all the time, calling you, texting you, where you at, Lord, I don't need all that. I don't like all that kind of talk,
Suffocation.
It's too much. Yeah. And so I think one of the things is that we have to stop playing mind games with people. That's where I was thinking, trying to manipulate them to thinking that if you don't get married by a certain age,
correct,
then men or women, nobody's going to be looking at you. You're off the market, as they say. You off the market because you're not profitable anymore. You can't have kids. But I can have a job, got my own stuff, and then I meet Johnny over here. He a hard worker, but Johnny ain't got nothing. Johnny ain't got nowhere to live. Johnny ain't got no car. But Johnny working real good though. But then you want Johnny and Johnny to hook up, but Johnny ain't got nothing to bring to the table. And that's the key. Us modern age women, you got to bring something to the table.
That's
true. You can't come to the table with me with nothing. I'm sorry. I cannot accept nothing. You need to come to the table with something at the table.
Yeah. You all aren't trying to build guys.
No. Yeah.
Your mindset is, if I worked hard, sacrificed, and achieved, then I need to meet up and match up with an equal, who's doing the same, so that we can then merge our tables together and form a longer table.
Exactly.
And help push and propel each other to their next level, their next dream, their next goal.
That's it.
Yeah. So I challenge pastors to focus on the individual, continue building people's lives. There's some things that people need to do in their stage and phase of singleness, some stuff that needs to get in order, some goals, some dreams that need to be accomplished. Again, like you said, that properly positions them for that place called matrimony and the responsibilities and the hurdles that come there. So many people want to jump into stuff, or we try to push people into stuff that they're not adequately equipped for.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Very, very dangerous. So I've married a couple of people, and one person at the wedding said to me, "How can you marry someone and you're not married?" And I said, "Huh?" I mean, it threw me off. I thought for a second.
Oh.
I said, "So I gotta be married in order to marry someone?" I said, "Can you show me that in the Bible?" I said, I don't see that text or context. Well, it's hard for you to marry someone because you don't really know what marriage is. I said, well, the ceremony itself is just a event.
Correct.
The marriage is beyond that.
Yes.
The marriage is beyond that. So me marrying somebody is just the event for that day.
Correct.
How they live that out in the marriage form goes beyond me. I'm just there to perform a ceremony. I'm
Sure.
not there to teach them how to go beyond that. So I've heard it a lot.
If I'm diagnosed with cancer, a particular cancer, I'm not going to find the doctor who has that cancer or who has had it. I just want a doctor that knows about the cancer to get me healed and well.
That's right. That's right.
So people come to the table with these asinine ideas, especially in the church context. It's like, do we think? Have you processed what's about to come out of your mouth? Like,
exactly.
Stop, people.
Yeah. Think about it before you speak. Think. I told somebody the other day, before you respond to this text, you make sure you read it well and think about how you're going to respond to me in this text. Because whichever way you respond, I said, don't come for me. Because if you respond the wrong way,
that's right.
Problem. And they said, I read your text. Good answer. Yeah. Good answer. Don't come to me with that because I'm not, in that space. So listen, guys. Wednesday night at 8 p.m., we are doing our Living Single webinar. We have 25 slots. We've got 13 already taken, so we don't have that many left. It's free. It's going to be a closed webinar. So you have to sign up to be a part of it. The reason why it's going to be closed, y'all, is because we want you to be able to ask any question in a comfortable setting.
Yes.
We want you to be uncovered. We want you to be able to be under. We want you to be in a space that you feel safe. Because sometimes people judge you by what you ask.
Yep.
And that may not be you, but your question may define who you really are. So what we want to do is make a space where we can come together and have some dialogue and some conversation as singles. Now, you may be single in a relationship. You're not married, so you're still single. So you can still be a part of this, okay? So don't look at it and say, well, I'm in a relationship. You're still single until you walk down the aisle and say, I do. So you can be a part of this encounter on Wednesday night. Y'all, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be at 8 p.m. So I want you to go to Eventbrite, Living Single, or to my website, ehendricksministries.com, and you can register as well. We only got a few seats left, but I want you to be a part of this. We're going to be talking about the elasticity of relationships during the pandemic. I've known a lot of relationships so far in this pandemic that not made it. So we're going to talk about the ones that have survived. What did you do? And then what we're going to do moving forward, because this pandemic is not going away. How can you sustain your relationship, especially if it's in a long distance relationship? If it's a relationship where your schedules are up and down, how do you blend the two? How do you be a part of that? Because myself, I can become a workaholic. I'm in the mental health field. I teach at a Bible college. And so I do a lot of things, executive pastor at my church. So I'm very involved. So when I'm involved in a project, I'm fully involved in that project. So when my mind's on that, I'm not thinking about anything else. And so I'm learning my balance in my life. It's hard for me. I'm learning it. I'm learning my balance. And so I want you all to be a part of Wednesday night. It's going to be great. If you have not, I'm waiting for you to go to Thurston's Instagram page. Be a part of his Mirror Moments. I'm a part of that. It's a great platform. You get great nuggets. You can only get them when you join the Mirror Moments on his Instagram page. Go in his bio section, click the link, and be a part of that. I believe it's going to be motivational. It's going to be inspirational. It's something I think we're all going to need. And so Thursday, I'm excited about Thursday night. We're going to go in depth. I got some people while we're sitting here, they've direct messaged me some questions. So I'm going to be sending you some information ahead of time. So the questions that they've been asking me, so we can kind of get this thing and have some questions. So if you're listening tonight and you have questions, inbox me the questions in advance so that I can get them to him as well. And we can have some dialogue. I believe it's going to be great. I look forward to having you join us Thursday night at 8 p.m.
Wednesday.
Thursday, I got another one with Brianna and Akeem. So that's different. That's something different. Wednesday at 8 p.m., the 18th, Wednesday the 18th, 8 p.m. Join us on this Wednesday. Any closing remarks, Stephen, that you want to have for Wednesday?
Listen, I need y'all to get plugged into this. I need you to tell somebody. It makes no sense for you to get helped and get healed and you leave your people behind. So
Yes.
grab somebody, tag somebody, hit somebody, text them, slide in the DMs, invite them into this environment where we can have some real, raw, and relevant conversation.
Yes.
Again, not to bash anybody, but to make people better. That's the
That's
goal
it.
of this thing.
Make people better. So guys, I'm excited. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday night. We only got a few slots left. It's free. So go on, jump on in and register while it's still closed, because I will be closing it down Wednesday morning. So after Wednesday morning, if you hadn't gotten in, the link is going to go away and you won't be able to be a part of this great event. So Thursday, I thank you. I look forward to Wednesday evening. Why I keep saying Thursday? Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. I look forward to seeing you, to being a part of this great encounter, Living Single. Thank you for your time. See you on Wednesday night. All right. God bless.